When you've chosen the correct filter list and parameters within each filter, then we can move to the interpolation. Select the 3D settings tab on the right hand side. And here we have two choices. We can interpolate within swaths. This is ideal if you have large gaps between swaths. Here I have tightly spaced swaths, so I'm going to select the defined area. Now, this is a slightly awkward shape here. I've already inserted a number of areas, defined areas for the interpolation. You can, if you wish, just insert one large one, but the areas in between the data will be interpolated. So I've just got one more to finish off here. So I'm going to hit the plus sign on the right hand side. And we can use the dot in the center, click and drag to move that defined area, and use the dot in the corner to rotate. Once I've got that into position, I can then just click and drag each of the edges of the box to suit and fit the shape of the data, like so. We can overlap areas if required, and we can just be a little bit outside the area if needed. Once that's completed, we then move to the settings, and we have a few options here. We can change the cell size or grid spacing. I've selected the measurement interval or trace interval value of 5 centimeters. We can select absolute values, and we can also use a thickness, and this is the time slice thickness. I've chosen 20 centimeters in this case. We can apply or deselect the 3D migration option. Also, we can limit the depth of interpolation. Most of the features in this data are within 1.5 meters depth, so I've chosen 2.5 in this case. Once that is completed, then we can just hit the interpolate button, and depending on the size of the data and the size of the processing power of the PC will determine how much time this will take. Once the process is finished, then we can move back to the 3D view. Deselect the sitemap, and we can take a look at the results. If needed, we can go back to the settings and modify if required, and then replay on the interpolation. And remember that any of the filters that have been applied on the list here are applied to the 3D migration. We can at this point go back to 2D. We can deselect these values to view the 2D, but the original values are still applied to the time slice in the 3D view.